and welcome to Love and the Planets for the week of October 30th, 2017. I'm Armand Diaz on assignment in the Netherlands.
How exciting, Armand. And I'm Margaret Gray in Dublin. And for once, we're in the same time zone, which is, just an hour difference. Which
Just
is
an hour
really
difference.
Great.
Yes, except for my jet lag, but yes.
Yes, I'm sure we'll get through it and it'll be fine. And even though Mercury is going to be trining Chiron in Pisces, so that might throw a little spanner in the works, but we'll manage our way through it. So quite a week, Armand, isn't it? I mean, the big highlight, of course, is the full moon in Taurus, but there's also a lot kind of other things going on really during the week. What's your sense of this week for relationships?
Well, it's an active kind of week. I don't know, I think it's not too different from last week. It's either going to be very good or it's going to be very challenging. The full moon in Taurus is a really exciting, potentially fun time with a Venus-Uranus opposition at the exact same time, though, it could really be a little bit challenging. It's either going to be fun and exciting, or if there's been tensions building up since last week's Venus-Pluto square, then it could be rather explosive.
Well, it's such an interesting time because full moon, all these feelings tend to come up, of course, and we have the term lunacy, which is really that the moon is shining and, our unconscious material comes up. And, as you say, then there is this potentially little bit of explosive thing where, Venus in Libra wants things to be nice and balanced and, compromise and everything. Then opposite Uranus in Aries, which says, no, I don't care about compromise. So a little bit of tension there in the air. Plus, of course, the aspect to Neptune. I mean, the moon is sextiling Neptune in Pisces, so that's quite a mellow aspect. So it feels like a lot of push and pull, push and pull. It's like, shall we be mellow and loving and, very Taurian and kind of enjoy things and be sensual, or shall we just throw it all out the window? That's what it feels like a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to be. I think we're going to be a lot more active. I think we're going to be tending a lot more towards activity. I wonder if that Neptune sextile isn't going to kind of rather than sort of mellowing things out, if it's not going to maybe sort of fire up the lunar imagination. As you say, it's at the full moon, and at the full moon we tend not to have a lot of control. We see what's there. Things come up, but we don't really have much of a sense of direction. It's actually, the seeds have already been planted and they're sprouting. It's a little bit late to be making decisions, actually. Now we start to see what's happened. So it's either going to be good or it's going to be challenging.
Plus, of course, let's not forget the trine to Pluto and Capricorn. I mean, it's still within orb. So there's also that really there's a depth feeling to it. There's kind of a rumbling going on, we're back talking about structures. So I think, this full moon may be a lot about what are the structures in our relationship? What are kind of the foundations? What's solid and what isn't solid? Because Taurus likes things to be solid. And so this is really challenging, and I think it's important also to keep in mind that what's really solid is likely to remain solid. It's usually things that are not solid in the first place that kind of get swept away, a little bit like during a storm. If a tree isn't that strong, it kind of gets really, bent over or swept away.
Well, the full moon is on Saturday the 4th, and it's preceded just the day before by Venus sextiling Saturn, which is perhaps not the strongest aspect, but I think that's your point of check-in to see which structures really are solid and which are not. And so, yeah, I think you have nothing to worry about if everything is on solid ground, but or except perhaps learning that it's not as solid as you thought.
That's the thing. Sometimes there can be a few surprises with the full moon, particularly when Uranus is involved. We just don't know really. And also that Venus, that sextile Saturn, of course, also quincunx Chiron in Pisces. So, whenever we touch Chiron, of course, there can be things that come up, old things that need to be revisited, old wounds that need to be cleared out and healed. So again, there's a mixed bag. So in terms of kind of having fun, when do you think is a good time for people to have fun this week?
Whenever you can. Well, coming up to the full moon, we have the moon in Aries, and it's almost full, and that's going to be something. So I mean, again, if things are okay, things should be pretty okay this week. I do think the Mercury Chiron aspect can help to open up and get some discussions going if things are a little tense. But if things are okay, it should be a pretty good week. Remember the new moon preceding this one was that new moon itself was opposite Uranus. And now we have the full moon with Venus opposite Uranus. So, there's a lot of this Uranian energy around, and that could be an awful lot of fun. It can be an awful lot of fun.
It also could be quite passionate, because not to forget that, the Sun and Jupiter is still close together in Scorpio, and Scorpio is about passion. It's about, it's intense, but it's also intense passion and sex and fun and so on. So, there's a lot of potential there. It just depends how things already are. But, as you said originally, if things are okay, this could be, it'll probably be experienced in the most expansive way. If things are not okay, then it's like a foundation of a house. Then there's a few problems around.
Good gets better, bad gets worse.
Absolutely. And on that note, I hope you have a fabulous time in the Netherlands, Armand.
Well, thank you, Margaret. I appreciate that, and I'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.